donation to this latest edition of the Sports Nerd Show. We are a collection of sports nerds whose mission is to bring you as much sports talk as time allows over the next 60 minutes. Although we will strive to be highly informative and equally as entertaining over the next hour, we must warn you that there may be some cuss words along the way. But we don't give a damn because that is the way most humans in the real world tend to talk, and we, the sports nerds, are no exception. So without further ado, Nerd Nation, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride as I present to you the founder and host of this crazy-ass show, Scott, the Sports Nerd Wright.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Nerds. I am your host, Scott, the Sports Nerd Wright, along with my co-host this evening, Elliot Biggie, the producer Lamba, and Mr. Wayne, the Professor Lynch. We will go over what is happening in the NFL for this Week 5 Sunday and bring comment and rants and all kinds of good stuff for the show. I want to thank my co-host for being here. Just to give you guys.
Oh, wait a minute. Not Spot isn't here, yo.
Who, Ken?
Not Spot.
He's already sent me an IM saying he will not be in tonight. His
not Spot Coslow strikes again.
So he's not coming in tonight. He's got a bad knee, so he's nursing that bad knee tonight, so he won't be here.
Yeah, okay.
But regardless, we are all here other than Ken. I want to stress that I am in the crosshairs of Hurricane Milton and expect to see him here Wednesday. I have already decided to cancel the show for Tuesday so I can prepare for the storm to get here.
A preemptive strike.
Preemptive strike, exactly. Elliot knows how that is. He lived in Florida for many, many years, so he knows what it's like when a hurricane's coming through.
Which is why I can say I am so glad I'm not there anymore.
You got to worry about monsoons and heat.
Sorry, Scott. Yeah.
You got to worry about monsoons and the heat out there, and not necessarily the hurricanes.
What's that?
I said you have to worry about the heat and monsoons because monsoon season in Arizona is pretty bad, isn't it?
Well, let's see. Monsoons are usually August, so those are gone.
Yeah.
And as far as the heat goes, the AC works really good inside my house. Okay. And it works so good because the humidity doesn't overbear it. You know what I'm saying? When I was in Florida and we had our AC set at 74, sometimes the inside would get to 80, 82 on the thermostat. Here, it stays at 74.
Yeah, well, I actually had to up my thermostat from 75 to 78 to try and save some freaking money because it's goddamn expensive.
So, Arizona gets a bad rap when it comes to heat, but I've been to Florida and it's worse there.
Well, the cost of living is about the same in Arizona as it was in Florida, isn't it?
Well, no, not actually, because the same 1,800 plus square foot house, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, and in shitty shape in Florida is about $3,000 a month.
Right. What's it out there in Arizona?
I pay $1,950 here.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
So yeah, the cost of living is not that great in Florida.
All right. All right. Let's get to the
real quick. The only advantage of Florida is no state tax.
No state tax. You got state tax.
But I'm willing to pay state tax just to be safe from all this shit that's going on over there, yo.
Right. Okay.
I'll spend those couple dollars.
Hey, Brett's in the house, guys. Say hi, Brett.
Brett.
Yeah, Brett Murphy is in the house. He's on the chat.
What's up?
Yeah, he's in the Facebook chat. How about that shit? Let's go ahead and deal with the elephant in the room as far as I am concerned, as far as my reality is concerned. The Cleveland Browns suck.
That's the elephant in your room. It ain't
right, in my room. Yeah, in my room. Right. The Cleveland Browns suck.
They are pretty bad.
They can't stop anybody. They can't score. And they're just an overall bad football team. And I'm tired of hearing. No, wait, let me finish.
Go ahead.
I am tired of hearing the same excuses and the same commentary from our head coach, Kevin Stefanski. We just have to play better.
Oh, you mean the guy that beat D'Amico Ryans for Coach of the Year?
Yeah.
Because he's white?
Yes. Yeah. Tim Lynch is trying to find the Braves game, Wayne. He needs help. He's what he's saying.
Ha ha. Very
funny. The Browns couldn't score in a whorehouse, yo.
Number 4, the quarterback with the number 4 on his back is
it ain't his
so
fault.
bad. Is so bad. Is so horrible. And this is going to rack your brains. I'd rather see friggin' Johnny Manziel behind center than number 4.
Yeah, but Johnny Manziel will get crushed behind that offensive line like anybody else. Dude, you could bring back Bernie Kosar and he'd get destroyed with that
Bernie
offensive
Kosar's
line.
in his 60s, so that's not going to happen.
Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, Bernie Kosar in his prime with that offensive line, his career wouldn't have lasted.
Not a chance.
Not a freaking chance. So don't blame it on number 4. Don't blame it on number 4. Blame it on your offensive line and your coach, because both suck.
Well, I'm losing my interest in Kevin Stefanski. I'm losing my interest in our general manager.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
You're all of a sudden cutting bait on Kevin Stefanski?
I'm losing interest. I'm not cutting bait yet. I'm just losing interest. Okay.
Oh, that's close to cutting bait.
All right. And I've decided, as you can tell by my attire, okay, I have decided that I will no longer support this team so long as number 4 is under center. I'm done.
It doesn't matter who's under center, dude.
Doesn't matter. No.
What you don't need to support is your offensive line. That's what you do not need to support.
To be honest.
And your lack of a running game.
To be honest.
Because I'll tell you what, Nick Chubb comes back with this offensive line, he might wind up getting his knee wrecked again.
Yes, he's going to end up getting hurt again. You're right. I'm with you on that.
It's a collaborative effort, dude, how bad your team is.
Well, you know what? But number 4 is he looks like to me he's playing scared because he expects the offensive line to not block him. He expects that to happen.
Okay, so he's being human.
No, Elliot, let me finish.
So he's being human.
He is expecting his offensive line to not block. Okay. And because of that in the back of his head, he is running for his life. And he had plenty of opportunities with open receivers today that he did not make the throw. He had a couple of plays where Amari Cooper was wide open and he did not make the throw. Okay? He's indecisive. He's running scared, and I agree it's because of the offensive line, okay? But he is a far cry from what he was in Houston. And
we know that.
He will never be that quarterback he was in Houston.
We know that. We already know that.
Yeah. Apparently Cleveland didn't know it at the time, though.
But the thing is that, you know what? You could blame him all you want because I know you don't like him. This, that, and the other.
He's
okay, but you said it yourself. You said it your damn self. You said he's running for his life. Wouldn't you be afraid if you were fucking running for your life all the time? I mean, the hatred is real. I get it.
This is why I love you, Elliot, because despite being a man of the Bible, you're not afraid to say fuck, and I appreciate that.
I will throw an F-bomb out there if I have to when it is appropriate. Okay?
This is why I love you,
forgive me. Why? Because God forgives everything.
There you go. Okay. All right. You're not afraid. You're not afraid to say the F word. So
I'm not as far
Brett Murphy.
I'm not as far gone as some people that think that God.
Well, we won't go into that discussion because Dave's not here. I'm just saying, okay?
And even if he was,
Brett, I'm gonna the Browns have Swiss cheese as an offensive line. To answer your first question,
no, man, that's an insult to Swiss cheese, yo.
okay,
Yeah.
I got you on that. Okay,
Doesn't have that many holes.
yeah.
It's more like a
second,
picture frame with no glass.
There you go. The second is Jerome Ford ain't it. You are correct. Jerome Ford ain't it. The Browns had something like 20 or 30 yards rushing today. It was terrible. I think it was like 40 yards to be honest. And then he says,
no offensive line.
Right, and then he says, you have a Jerry Jeudy. Why not focus there a little more? Well, if number 4 wasn't running for his life, he could probably target Jerry Jeudy more. But you know what? And I play most of this blame on not just Kevin Stefanski, but for Andrew Berry, who's our GM, for making this deal in the first place.
You know why? Because somebody he was playing poker with somebody, and somebody bluffed him into signing Deshaun Watson, for the money that he did. He got bluffed, dude. He got hoodwinked.
Bamboozled.
One of the teams made it clear that they would pay this much, and Cleveland said, "No, we can't have that. We're just going to give him the biggest guaranteed contract of all time."
It's the worst move in NFL history, in my point, because you give the guy what, 230 or 280 guaranteed. You can't let him go. You can't release him. You can't cut him because your salary cap gets hit too hard.
And nobody's going to take it either.
No.
Nobody's going to take that contract on.
No, you can't trade him. You can't release him. The only thing you can do is bench him and put Crab loving Jameis Winston under center for the remainder of the season.
What the owners need to do is what you're doing, and that's cutting bait. They need to swallow the loss.
Yeah, and
pay him whatever he's owed, and send him on his way.
Yeah, my other point is that he's got new charges coming up, and if they are different than what he revealed to the Browns when they signed that contract. Yeah. They can release him and not have to pay the $92 million he has left on his contract. So the latest charges are part of the deal. So we'll see what the NFL does for that.
You know who
if he gets suspended because of this, the Browns don't have to pay the remaining money on his contract, and they can cut him loose. So we'll see what happens.
You know who's thanking the Lord to the highest praise right now, that the Cleveland organization is so dysfunctional?
Baker Mayfield.
No, Jameis Winston.
Why?
Because as long as he keeps on in there, he ain't got no chance of dying.
I still would have loved to see what Jameis can do. I mean, he went in late with
the same thing would happen to him, and then he'd go back to throwing interceptions again, like he usually did.
Only because the offensive line is so bad, it's not funny.
Exactly. So put the blame where it's supposed to be.
But you can't
run, you can't pass. Why? Because you can't block.
Right. I'm with you.
Zip, period.
I'm with you.
No further comment necessary on this subject.
Yep. On the other side, Jaden Daniels is the real deal, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was almost human for the first half.
Right. Well, the defense sort of kept him in check in the first half.
At one point, he was under 50% in pass completion.
Correct. And then the second half came around, the defense got tired, and he just started lighting them up. And
Brian Robinson started lighting them up. McLaurin started lighting them up.
Yep.
And that's the thing, man, is your defense gets a strain put on them when your offensive can't stay on.
Because the offense can't do nothing. It means the defense is on the field longer than the offense, and they get tired.
Exactly.
And they get exhausted.
I'm glad you agree with me.
I do agree with you. So I'm for the time being, I am disowning the Browns.
Well, that's awful. What are you going to do now? Root for Tampa?
I'm on to the Guardians against Detroit, which thank God they blasted Detroit yesterday 7-0.
Detroit looked like a team that celebrated too much after they beat Houston. That's
Correct.
what they looked like yesterday.
Yes, they did. I'm looking for the matchup with the Guardians and the Yankees to see just how good they are. If they can beat Detroit, it looks like the Yankees can beat the Royals because the Royals are terrible. But
the Royals are not terrible because they're one of the teams that made the playoffs.
Right, but again,
Okay.
I think the Yankees have you, Elliot, you're a Yankees fan, you know it. The Yankees are going to win that series. They're going to beat Kansas City.
Well, I told you that.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the series Guardians versus the Yankees in the ALCS.
That's fine. I'm
looking forward to it.
Bring it on. Just remember, you still got to.
That's what I'm saying. Bring it on. Let's go. Let's see how good the Guardians are.
You still got to finish off Detroit.
We'll finish off Detroit. That bullpen is the best bullpen in the freaking majors. So we'll see what happens.
All right, we'll see.
All right. Anyway, moving on. I'm not going to bandwagon Tampa Bay. I'm not going to bandwagon. I'm just going to be a fan of the NFL for the foreseeable future. Watch my Red Zone on Sundays. Enjoy the coverage. Enjoy the big plays. And for now, I'm just going to sit here with my Indians cap on. Go Indians, go Guardians, whatever you want to call them. My Sports Nerd T-shirt. I will not wear a Browns jersey until Mr.
Well,
Watson
maybe you should just take it off the wall while you're at it. You know what I'm saying?
No, Jim Brown, I will never take off the wall. Jim Brown, I won't.
Well, put him on a different wall.
I might do that.
Put a Baker jersey up there.
I don't have a Baker jersey. I never bought a Baker jersey. Get out of here. I've got an undersized John Lynch jersey from 2002. It's the black jersey they had out there. But I have too much respect for Jim Brown to not put him on my wall, which is why I'm doing that. So it is what it is. I'm going to go with ESPN, Elliot, to.
Oh, you are? Cool.
Yes.
I was actually sitting on NFL waiting for you to start.
I'm doing ESPN.
Well, before you go any farther, big shout out to the state of Ohio. Both their teams are combined 2-8.
Oh, Cleveland and Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what, Wayne?
Cincinnati really gave that game away, didn't they?
Yeah, they gave away that game. I actually thought the Bengals were going to win that game because they were playing so good. Joe Burrow had a great game.
Well, I'm sure we'll get to it. What's the first game up?
That would be the New York Jets against the Minnesota
Thursday
Vikings.
game. We haven't talked about the Thursday game.
Thursday night. Oh, I'm sorry.
Where Kirk Cousins threw for 509 yards?
Kirk Cousins.
Against that vaunted Buccaneer defense?
Yes. Where'd it go?
Kyle Pitts actually showed up for a change.
And Drake London.
What's weird is I don't see that game on ESPN.
It's right here in front of me.
Dallas, I got Dallas, Pittsburgh, Jets, Minnesota.
Oh, right in between that, I'm seeing Tampa and Atlanta.
Why am I not seeing Tampa and Atlanta? Anyway.
Refresh.
I don't know. Jesus Christ.
You're looking at the thing across the top, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Tampa's sitting right there between the Jet game and the Dallas game.
See, I'm not seeing that. Hang on.
All right, well, we see it, so go ahead.
Do
you need some stats?
No. I'm just
really the only one you need is
I can't see it.
Yeah, the only stat you need is 509.
42 of 58 for 509 yards. 4
There
TDs.
it is. Hang on. I found it. Give me a second. Let's go. All right. 36-30 Atlanta over the Buccaneers.
In overtime.
Kirk Cousins, 509 yards, 4 TD, one interception. Baker sucked, even though he had 3 touchdowns. He really didn't play well. He only had 180 yards passing.
Well, that's because Atlanta had the ball all the time.
Yeah, that's true, too.
What was time?
I didn't watch all the game. I watched the first part of it. But that just adds more sauce into the NFC South. It puts 3 out of the 4 teams, because they don't count Carolina. They suck. Atlanta, New Orleans, and the Bucs all in that same kind of pot.
Well, New Orleans gets a big test tomorrow going to Kansas City, so we'll talk about
that's
that.
Going to be a hell of a game tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to tonight's game too. Believe it or not, the Steelers and the Cowboys. That's going to be a good game too.
We'll talk about that.
But I still like the way the Bucs are playing. I mean, they didn't win this game, but they're playing. Baker is got like a second life in Tampa.
That's because he feels wanted. I don't think he felt wanted in Cleveland.
Well, I blame Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski for that, but that's just me.
Well, the big complaint was he was doing all those progressive commercials when he was in Cleveland. So,
that's a bunch of crap, Wayne.
But isn't Cleveland known?
No, I'm just saying that was the complaint.
Isn't Cleveland known for ruining quarterbacks?
Yes.
So here's my
especially in the last 25 years, Elliot. Yes.
Here's my theory. If Deshaun Watson hadn't done anything of what he'd done and went to play for Cleveland, okay, chances are they would have ruined him too.
I don't know what it is with Cleveland and quarterbacks. I really don't know. I don't understand.
It's called bad coaching.
Well, it's bad coaching, or is it bad ownership? Because they've had
multiple
owners since the return. Okay, and for whatever reason, the Browns just cannot get a decent play out of the quarterback.
Well, they did out of Baker, and then cut bait with him the next.
And Baker took him to the playoffs, and they beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs, which is what I love him for. But I don't know if it's the ownership or if it's Stefanski and Andrew Berry that wanted to get rid of him. I still can't understand why they decided to bring this criminal, this predator, this sexual assault artist into Cleveland, give him a guaranteed contract of $230 or $280 million.
Because they got duped.
I mean,
they got duped.
Jesus Christ.
They tried playing poker and wound up getting gin rummied.
Well, once you get sold beachfront property in Alaska.
And Brett comes back and says, Scott, you can always support the Ravens. You know what, Brett? Go fuck yourself. I will never, ever, ever support the Ravens. Get the fuck out of here.
I hear the Steelers have bandwagon applications available. Everybody in the AFC North has got.
Get the fuck out of here, Brett. If I can ban your ass, I'd ban you. Get out of here with that crap.
If you don't want to leave the state, there's always Cincinnati.
Shut the fuck up, Wayne.
Yeah, who they?
I wish Paul.
You can always burrow your way to Cincinnati.
Paul Brown is still rolling over in his grave after what? What's his face did to the Browns? Anyway.
Hey, thank God for you. Hockey season starting on Tuesday.
Yeah, I know, right? Anyway, new captain, Mr. Victor Hedman.
And you know what was really strange is that Drake London got hurt, and then the guy that came in to replace him, Cordero Hodge, boom. He took it 45 yards to the house.
One play, one pass, 45 yards, touchdown, game over.
Game over. And that was after Koo made, what, a 59-yarder?
Yeah.
To tie the game?
Yeah. You know what? I mean, Kirk Cousins has found it. I mean, it was a rough start for Kirk Cousins in Atlanta, but he's coming into his own and he's starting to click. with the receivers and the team as far as that's concerned,
One
which
big-
makes Atlanta dangerous going down the stretch.
Well, they're already dangerous because, look, everybody was like, after the Kirk Cousins' first game, they're like, oh, he ain't right. He might not ever be right again. And then he came and beat Philadelphia
Yep.
on the last minute. Okay. Yep. And now he throws for the franchise record 509
yards
on Matt Ryan Ring of Honor night.
Yes.
Come on, man. If he is going back to being the Kirk Cousins that he usually is, that whole NFC South is in trouble.
I agree with you. I agree so wholeheartedly.
Well,
Kirk Cousins is the man. I mean, I love Kirk Cousins. Do you like that? Come on, I love Kirk Cousins.
They should be 4-1, but they faced Kansas City and the referees, and
Kansas City and the referees took that no pass interference, that NPI that they did on Atlanta. So I mean, right now they're scary, and they're on a bye this week, so the rest of the NFL can relax. All right, let's move on to the international game.
Get that built-in bye, 10 days off.
Yeah. All right, let's
no, they're actually on a bye.
Game. The Jets in Minnesota. This was
they're actually on bye week 6.
Oh, they got a bye. They played on Thursday night and didn't get a bye?
Yeah.
Well, Minnesota did, yes.
No, Minnesota gets the bye for playing the international game.
Yeah. The Jets play Monday night next week.
Yeah, they got hosed on that one.
Yeah, well, they decided to do it that way. I don't know why, but they decided to do it that way. Aaron Rodgers looked mediocre at best today against Minnesota.
3 picks.
Him running for his life?
Yes.
Okay. Because you know what? The Jets' offensive line is just a shade better than Cleveland.
That ain't saying much, Elliot.
Just
exactly.
That ain't saying much.
That's what I'm saying.
And Aaron Rodgers has a low. Aaron left the game with a low ankle sprain, according to what he said.
1-4 Browns sticking with Watson as QB1.
Shut the fuck up.
I like their conviction.
Jesus Christ.
Dedication to all that money they paid out.
They hamstrung themselves.
200 plus million.
They totally hamstrung themselves, dude. Like really.
And that is the fault of Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam.
And if they don't play them, then they're going to complain why they're not playing them for all the money they're paying them. So yeah, that's a.
You know what? I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with them sitting Deshaun Watson this season, next season until his contract is over. I have no problem whatsoever. If they want to sit him, make him the backup, go for it.
Actually, Atlanta's not off next week. It's Kansas City. It's Kansas City, the Rams, the Dolphins, and the Vikings.
What? For Atlanta?
Those are that are Atlanta's not on a bye next week.
Okay.
I think they're week 7.
But I mean, the Vikings look good today.
No, the Vikings looks okay today. They didn't look.
They lost Sam Darnold, though.
They lost Aaron Jones. Sam Darnold didn't do shit today, really. It was that defense. Okay, Van Ginkel taking one back to the house. All right, if you look at the box score.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Sam Darnold was 14 of 31.
31 for 179. He had a pick. He did
no touchdowns and an interception.
Right.
And Aaron Rodgers didn't do much better.
No.
He had 3 interceptions.
3 interceptions, and he was sacked a few times too. I mean, a lot of sacks on
But what's the common denominator for teams like the Jets? They don't have a running game. The Browns don't have a running game. Now Minnesota, Aaron Jones is out.
It's going to reduce their chances in the running game.
I think with Aaron Jones, it was a hamstring issue. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Hamstring or hip, they said.
Yeah, he had a
But
hip
if he
to-
misses any time,
a hip to- yeah.
if he misses any time, I guess Minnesota's lucky that they do have a bye this week because it
Ty
gives him.
Chandler, C.J. Ham,
Yeah.
Miles Gatson. That's their only
Yeah,
other
yeah,
options.
we're not. Yeah, that's not championship caliber.
No, it's not.
So, but like I said, the Vikings are probably lucky that they have the bye this week because it gives Aaron Jones an extra week.
Allows everybody to get healthy. You're right.
Because
Justin Jefferson. I mean, he didn't have a great game. He didn't have any scores. He was he got receiving 6 of 92, 15.3 average. Longest reception was 27 yards. He had 14 targets and only 6 receptions. So
you know the mistake you guys made, Cleveland?
you guys what? Meaning Cleveland?
Yeah.
What?
Not making Joe Flacco an offer.
I agree.
33 out of 44, 359 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Joe Flacco.
Yes.
So
you're on to Indy. I mean, what about Baltimore and the Bengals? You going right over to Joe?
No. I'm not going that way. I'm just saying. Okay.
If we're going back to Cleveland, that was the move that should have been made.
We're going back to kind of cover why Cleveland is where they are today.
Because Andrew Berry did not even offer him a contract.
Oh, and he wanted to stay in Cleveland.
He did.
He liked it there.
He did.
So he played a fabulous game today.
Well, then let's go to Baltimore and Cincinnati before we get to the
absolutely. We'll get to Flacco here soon.
Yeah. Joe Burrow had 5. I mean, his rating was 137. He was 30 of 39 for 392, 5 touchdowns and a pick. Lamar Jackson was 26 of 42, with 4 touchdowns. In the end, it was the defense that won that game for
Neither defense showed up for that game.
Right.
Not until not until overtime, really, for Baltimore.
Well, the overtime where you get when you get Derrick Henry to go break into tackle for 60+ yards
51 yards
in overtime.
51 yards.
And he had not broken a big run all game until overtime.
Well, yeah, at that point he had 14 carries for 41 yards. That's less than 3 yards a carry. He finished with 6.1 on that last run.
Yeah.
But that's just who Derrick Henry is capable of being. Your defense is worn down. Guess what? Derrick Henry gonna run you.
How big is that? Is that trade in the offseason when Derrick Henry signed with the Ravens? How big is that for Baltimore alone?
Ask Dallas.
Yeah, I was going to say. Ask Jerry.
Ask Dallas for their opinion on that.
Right.
They could afford all this money for Dak, but they couldn't afford $6.5 million because he would have taken $6.5 million to stay in Dallas because that's where his family is. That's where he works
Dallas
out.
Never even reached out to him. Jerry
They
Jones.
never even made an
reached out to him.
And they're paying Zeke what, $5 million plus?
$5 million.
Plus still paying him from the first contract, so that still comes up to over $8 million.
They're paying him twice.
Yeah.
And then you got Tony Pollard running crazy in Tennessee.
Yep.
Jerry Jones is an idiot. So is Stephen Jones. His son is an idiot.
He's a bigger moron. He's a bigger moron.
And I love every minute of it.
I love to see Dallas do bad. I love it. I'm one of the rare times I'm rooting for Pittsburgh is tonight.
I was going to say, do you love it enough to cheer Pittsburgh on tonight?
Yes, I do.
Well, I guess since your Browns are out of it, you might as well just.
I don't give a shit anymore. It is what it is. The Browns suck. It is what it is. Go Buccaneers, go Steelers, go Bengals. I don't care. It is what it is. All right. Indy and Jacksonville. That was an entertaining game as well, guys.
It was, and even Trevor Lawrence played a good game.
Trevor Lawrence balled out today.
But that's not saying much because everybody balls out on Indianapolis.
Well, he was 28 of 34 for 371 and 2 touchdowns. He did have 1 pick.
No sacks.
No sacks. You're right. But you know what? Despite the loss, the story of this game was Joe Flacco.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Trevor Lawrence got outplayed by Joe Flacco.
He did. He did.
And Indianapolis's defense is what lost it for Joe Flacco.
Yes, I'm with you on that. Flacco was 33 of 44, 359 yards, and 3 touchdowns. No picks. And the Browns didn't even offer him a fucking contract.
That sounds familiar. We were just talking about Derrick Henry too, right?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. You know,
Guys that haven't been offered a contract that are now killing it with other teams.
right.
Come on now.
You know, and
That
you know what?
alone, that alone should make Jerry Jones fire
Right.
the GM.
But it all boils down to this. Andrew Berry didn't offer him a contract because Deshaun Watson didn't want any competition.
Well, it wouldn't have been competition. He wouldn't have been the starter. They would have let Deshaun Watson start. And once he got to this point, they would have replaced him
Yes.
with Joe Flacco.
Which they need to do anyway, even though it's
I think
Jameis
Jameis Winston is on the sidelines with a Bible praying that he doesn't get forgiven.
He's like, yeah, I'm here, but this is where I want to be right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm here, but you don't see me. Just
So-
call me Ghost.
Hmm.
It was an exciting game, though. I mean, it was entertaining.
Yes, it was. That was
It was 24-17 in the fourth quarter between those two teams.
yes.
41
And then-
points.
41 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
There's teams that don't score that in 3 weeks.
Actually, it was 20-10 after 3 quarters. Jacksonville was leading.
Yeah, and then at 24-17.
And then
after that.
Indy scored 24 points in the fourth quarter, and Jacksonville scored 17 in the fourth quarter. And it was enough to hang on by 3 points to win the
Didn't
game.
we just say that?
Yes.
Didn't we just say they scored 41 points in the fourth quarter?
I
Yeah.
believe we did. Yeah.
I just thought maybe he didn't hear it.
Shut up, Bill.
Yeah.
We already talked about Baltimore and Cincinnati. The Bengals just friggin' just
They blew it.
They
They blew it.
They blew it. They had the game in their hands and they blew it.
Are they
They really
officially done now? Can we stop all the Joe Burrow's going to save them from a 1-4 record? Can we
No.
say that now?
Yeah,
Well,
we can
even
say
Joe
that.
Burrow said they're not a championship level team after the game.
Right.
No. And they lost Zach Moss too.
Yes. Next up, Miami, New England. Boy, was this a bad game.
Oh my God, that game was awful, dude.
That
That game was 15-10. Okay, we've talked about it. Let's move on.
Oh my God, that was a terrible game.
Tyler Huntley, 18 of 31, 194, 1 interception. Jacoby
No
Brissett, 18 of 34, 160, and nothing else.
Yes, that was.
Their passer ratings were in the low 60s,
Yes.
and there was no running. I mean, the only guy that actually did anything was this Jalen Wright, the rookie.
13 carries for 86 yards.
And I guess Ramondre Stevenson was
Ramondre
intimidated.
Stevens had 12 carries for 89 yards.
Yeah, and guess what he didn't do today?
Fumble.
He didn't fumble.
He didn't
Right.
fumble.
I
Right.
think it got to him that they were saying they were going to replace him with Antonio Gibson and decided to
Yeah.
protect the rock. You know what I'm
And,
saying?
and activating Odell Beckham Jr. didn't do shit for Miami today.
Well, as long as Tyler Huntley's quarterback, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, he's not going to do anything. Neither will Tyreek Hill or Waddle.
Right.
None of them.
They can't do anything if they can't get the ball.
And
Right.
they can't run. They lost Achan today as well.
And
Yep.
Mostert was already out.
And Mostert played today. He had 19 carries for 80 yards, which is not bad.
God,
Yeah.
that was that was just a bad game, guys. I mean, it was just. I mean, the bottom feeders of the AFC East are Miami and New England.
Aren't they like the 2 lowest scoring teams in the NFL?
Yes, and yes, and it's because, I mean, Tua's hurt. I mean, I have to give that to Miami because of why they're doing so bad. Because Tua's dealing with a concussion. I don't know that he's going to be back anytime soon. But I mean, if you're depending on Tyler Huntley as your quarterback, you're reaching for straws at this point.
I want to know who did Ryan Tannehill piss off?
Yeah, no shit.
Right? He's out there waiting on someone to pick him up. He's still a free agent.
What did he say, or who did he say it to?
You know why? Because the coach, Where's Waldo?
He's actually got history with Miami. He played for the Dolphins. Why didn't you bring him in?
I'm telling you, if you put a hat and a red and white striped shirt on Mike McDaniels, he looks like Where's Waldo.
Well, you know what? Tyler Huntley is so bad, the Browns cut him.
Well, I mean, he did a little bit of good work when Lamar Jackson went down when he was with Baltimore.
Right.
You know, and I thought today he might rekindle that Baltimore relationship he had with Odell.
No.
But none of that works because you know what? New England's defense ain't half bad either.
No, it's not.
That's another thing.
Is pretty good, actually, yes.
Well, yeah, they're not bad at all.
We did cover Indy and Jacksonville. I went into a rant with Washington, Cleveland.
Washington Commanders 4-1.
How about that shit?
4-1.
I might have been a little premature in saying that they were going to finish second in that division.
I think they're going to win the division, guys. I really do. At this point, I think the Commanders can win the division.
I think so too.
I picked them to be second.
Daniels
Dallas to be
playing out of
third.
his freaking mind, and he's a rookie, for God's sake.
It's all going to come down to how they do against the other teams in the division. If they can stand up to Philly, Dallas, and the Giants, you might as well call it in.
I mean, if the Commanders can beat Dallas and Philly, they're in the driver's seat, guys. They're in the driver's seat.
Now, I wanna do a rant that Dave would do if he was here.
Dave, okay.
Okay, about the next game.
Yes.
Buffalo.
Which is Buffalo and Houston.
Yeah. Can you explain to me why the game was tied at 20 and Buffalo was backed up?
I know where you're going with this, Elliot. Go ahead.
And they threw 3 incomplete passes out of the end zone?
What in the hell were they thinking?
Run it by me. I didn't get the scoop on that one. What happened now?
So there's 16 seconds left. Houston had just punted the ball because they were out of field goal range.
Right.
Buffalo gets the ball 1st and 10. They probably should kneel on it and take the game into overtime.
They were inside their own 5-yard line.
Inside their own 5-yard line. They threw 3 incomplete passes from the end zone. They had to punt, and the kicker didn't punt the ball far enough, which put them in automatic field goal range. And Houston kicked the field goal to win the game. If they, you know what? In a way, I'm glad because I would hate to see a grown man come on here and cry. Because that's what Dave is capable of doing when it comes to the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, that was a bad.
That was cringeworthy.
I mean, that was a bad decision by coaching. It was a coaching issue.
That was an extremely bad coaching issue. And matter of fact, if I was Josh Allen, I would have said, "Screw y'all, I'm kneeling on this shit." But you know what? There goes Josh Allen playing hero ball again.
Even if Josh Allen does a quarterback sneak for 3 straight plays, it gets into overtime.
Houston didn't have the timeouts.
Sounds like only one kneel down or a quarterback sneak would have ran the clock down.
16 seconds.
Yeah, keep talking, guys. I'll be right back.
16 seconds.
16 seconds, 3 passes.
Why are you throwing 3 incomplete passes out of the end zone, giving the other team a shot to win it? I mean, come on.
Well, that's what they, one pass to see if you can break something I could see, but not 3.
The coaching staff the entire coaching staff should be fired for that shit.
I like it.
Because I'll tell you what, those are the kind of mistakes that bad teams make.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can understand one pass to see if somebody breaks it, gets to the midfield, call a timeout, a couple of other plays, if you get that far down, I can see that. But one pass, I accept. 3, that's stupid.
But you know what? I'm thinking that Josh Allen thought he would pull a Patrick Mahomes with 13 seconds left. Remember that? Oh, well, if Patrick could do it, I could do it too. And guess what? They gave that game away.
So he must have really take the punt for Texans to get the ball and just go ahead and kick a field goal, not even going to overtime.
They just kneeled and let it go into overtime. And even if they lost, at least they made the right decision.
Right.
What they did today was give a game away. And what happens if Houston and Buffalo finish tied in the standings?
Yep.
There goes the tiebreaker.
Well, if they finish tied and they have the same, conference record as well, there goes the tiebreaker.
Yeah. You just shit your tiebreaker away.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And, I mean, it wasn't bad enough you got destroyed by Baltimore. So now that's another tiebreaker you're going to lose. And quite honestly, I don't know, man. I'm not convinced. I'm not sold, and nobody could tell me otherwise except for maybe Dave, because he insists that Sean McDermott is a Hall of Fame level coach, but he's not. Okay, and it's just sad. And then on top of that, Houston lost Nico Collins in the first half to a hamstring injury.
Hamstring.
Yeah, that's the only reason I think that game was close, because if Collins would have still been on the field, Houston would have put that game away without worrying about them, late. But that was just classic. I was like, oh my God, can't wait for the show to ask what the hell was that all about?
Yeah, I missed that, but thank you for informing me.
My goodness, that was such a Bush League maneuver. I was telling Wayne that he probably thought he could do Patrick Mahomes with 16 seconds left, what Patrick Mahomes did with 13 seconds left.
Wow.
But it didn't work.
You're bringing that up, are you, Elliot? Come on.
Mr. Josh Allen and his hero ball fail the Buffalo Bills once again.
Well, you know what? Josh Allen got his belt wrong, too.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting is that his head hit the ground pretty hard.
It did.
And he should have been taken in the concussion protocol, and they didn't.
But he turned out that it was a sprained ankle, and he was able to come back in the game.
It don't matter when they see head contact like that.
Yeah,
they're supposed to
cart you off.
His head hit the ground so hard, even I got a concussion.
He was down on the ground. He was his face down.
Yes.
Yeah, you get escorted off and go into the tent.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, that just goes to show me that the NFL tends to bend the rules a little bit.
Yeah, pick and choose.
For certain people. Like when Tua got hit his head on the ground and then was running back to the huddle and he freaking collapsed on the ground. No, I'm talking about the one from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When they were playing Buffalo.
Yep.
And his head hit the ground, and then he got up and staggered down on the ground and they didn't take him out. What's that all about? Yeah. Like I said, I just think the NFL favors certain quarterbacks. Sounds to me like AFC East quarterbacks. I got one question, though, just going back to that Dolphins game.
Yep.
Do you think it's time the Dolphins experiment with Drake May? I mean, the Patriots?
Yes.
It's got to be.
Because the Patriots are not going to be a good team. Even with, don't get me wrong. I love Jacoby Brissett. He did a very good job for the Browns when he was Cleveland.
He's done
But-
an admirable job for a lot of teams.
Correct. But the Patriots need to find out if Derek May is the guy of the future. Drake May, excuse me, is the guy of the future, or do they need to,
Move on to the past.
move on to the next guy? You know what I'm saying?
What they're trying not to do, in my opinion, is not make the Mac Jones mistake and put him in right away. Let him, marinate on the sidelines, if
Yeah.
you will, instead of putting him in because Mac Jones was supposed to be the present and future of the Patriots. And
Well,
saw what
to
happened.
be honest, Wayne, Bill Belichick destroyed Mac Jones. Belichick is the reason why Mac Jones didn't do well.
Well, you know why? Because he didn't know what to do without Brady.
Correct.
He was confounded at the fact that he didn't have a quarterback like Brady anymore.
Right.
And was basically trying to sell off Mac Jones as being the next Brady.
Because Mac Jones is not the next Brady.
No.
Hell, he ain't even the next Mac Jones.
Yeah. And Mac Jones is the next used car salesman down in Carolina.
Correct.
Or is it Jacksonville?
I don't know
He's-
where.
he's with
Jacksonville.
I think he's in Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
All right. Guys, how about the Chicago Bears?
What about them? They beat Carolina.
Well, that's true too.
I can't give you too many props for that one. Yeah, they beat Carolina.
I mean, Caleb was 20 of 29 for 304, 2 touchdowns. I mean, he had a good game. I know it was Carolina, but he had a good game.
Against Carolina, which is, what would you say, slightly above a college level team right now?
Oh, I don't know. I think Alabama could beat Carolina at this point.
You know how bad it was for Carolina today? Bryce Young came into the game and had a better passer rating than Andy Dalton.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He averaged 8.3 yards per throw
Yep.
or per completion.
Yep.
No, it's per throw, per attempt.
Well, I mean, the Chicago defense was basically the deciding factor. I mean, they sacked Andy Dalton and Bryce Young both for a total of 4 sacks today. So, I mean, so the defense was going
but that's Chicago's linchpin is their defense.
Yes.
It always has been. You know what I'm saying? And DJ Moore was the beneficiary of those 2 touchdowns.
He had 2 touchdowns today. Yes, you're correct.
So do they start Bryce Young next week based on?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think Bryce Young even wants to play in Carolina.
You put the red rifle back in because you don't want your franchise quarterback getting hurt. So I'm just saying.
Andy Dalton's the franchise quarterback?
I was going to say, so he's the franchise quarterback now?
No. That's
Because
not what
Bryce Young is not the franchise quarterback.
That's not what I said.
Bryce Young ain't going to be the franchise quarterback.
That's not what I
If
said.
you bench your quarterback 2 games into the season, that's supposed to be the future of your team, that's a problem. That's a problem. I don't think Bryce Young ever plays another start with Carolina and winds up getting traded, kind of like Sam Darnold, kind of like Baker Mayfield. They're just going to usher him out of town. And then he'll go do something nice somewhere else.
Yeah. All right.
Because
Buffalo.
you see what Darnold and Mayfield are doing right now after they escaped Carolina.
And Cleveland.
What parallels those are?
Buffalo, Houston. What the hell's going on with Buffalo?
Didn't we just talk about that?
Yeah, we did. Okay, let's move on.
The 3 incomplete passes out of the end zone?
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Vegas and Denver.
How about Patrick Surtain with a 100-yard interception return?
That was phenomenal.
That
And
was
I
sweet.
got to tell you guys, those throwback Bronco uniforms are sweet.
Yeah.
They are
I like the
beautiful.
throwbacks. I like the throwbacks.
Jacksonville
They are
played in their throwbacks today, too.
What's that?
Jacksonville?
Yes, they did. But I mean, and to be honest, Bo Nix walked in with a Craig Morton number 7 jersey into the game today.
Craig Morton.
Yes, it wasn't John Elway. It was Craig
No.
Morton because they were honoring the 1977 Broncos.
Yeah. That jersey.
So that would have been number 7 would have been Craig
Craig
Morton and not John Elway. But yeah, those uniforms are beautiful. And Denver played out of I mean, Bo Nix had a great game.
Isn't that the jersey that
27, 206, 2 touchdowns, no picks.
isn't that Craig Morton jersey the one he wore when they got destroyed by Dallas in the Super Bowl?
Yes, it is. Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
when they got crushed.
Yes, the orange.
They got orange crushed.
Yeah, when they got orange crushed.
The orange
When
crush
their
got
defense
crushed
was
that
supposed to
day.
be
Yes.
called the orange crush, and they got crushed.
And you know what, guys? I mean, that was the Super Bowl that made me fall in love with Roger Staubach and the Cowboys when I was a kid, 11 years old, and it was awesome.
I was in love with the Cowboys when back in the days when they played in Super Bowl 10 and 12 against the Steelers.
That was that was some phenomenal football, guys. And you know what? It could have. I mean, geez, could have been awesome.
Yeah, well, I've always
Remember when Jackie Smith
Jackie Slater dropped the ball in the end zone.
Jackie Smith.
No,
Jackie
Slater.
Jackie Slater was an offensive lineman
for the Rams. Jackie
Yeah.
Slater. Yeah, here, simplify for you. Jackie Slater, black guy.
Hey,
Jackie
Scott.
Smith, white guy.
Hey, Scott, take into consideration that you have a shoddy memory. Yo.
Jackie Slater.
You
Hall of
couldn't even
Fame
remember that.
offensive lineman.
He couldn't even remember that Odell played in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Jackie Slater was a black dude, yo.
Yeah, Jackie Slater, black dude, Rams.
It's Jackie Smith.
Jackie Smith,
He
white
used to
dude,
play for
tight
the
end, Dallas.
He used to play for the St. Louis Cardinals.
It is Jackie Smith. You're right. I apologize.
Thank you very much.
I just Googled it.
We
You're
may
right.
be older than you, but our minds are working a
My
lot
mind's
better.
working.
Wow.
My mind's working well.
I mean,
I
that
need to
wide
invest in-
open touchdown in the end zone.
I need to invest in some ginkgo biloba, I think. Anyway.
You need to invest
Some
in
Prevagen.
But yeah, I mean the Broncos played. I mean they outplayed Vegas the whole game, and I mean Vegas is now 2-3. Broncos are 3-2.
Well, what is Vegas supposed to do with the combination of Minshew and O'Donnell?
Well, they benched Minshew today and went with Aiden O'Connell late in the game.
Okay, which is not saying much.
No, it's not because.
And then
I mean,
on top of that, there's no Devontae Adams.
right? Yeah,
No Max Crosby.
Max Crosby played today. He had 2
No,
sacks.
Oh, he
did
did
play.
play?
Yeah.
Because he was on the list questionable.
Yeah, no, but he did
Played.
play, and he got 2 sacks.
Yep.
You know, I'm mad because I left him on my bench, and I missed out on 13 fantasy points. But that's okay. Yeah, Denver looked good today. The defense looked kind of iffy at first, but then they got it together and shut it down.
Yep. All right, guys, let's talk about the other elephant in the room: Arizona and San Francisco.
I don't know what elephant you're talking about.
Yeah, what elephant? It was a 10-point lead going into the fourth quarter. So there
Exactly.
you
It was a Kyle Shanahan special.
go. 10-point lead going into the fourth quarter.
Not to
I was
mention, we didn't have a kicker. We had to go on 4th down on several occasions because we didn't have a kicker.
And even if he was playing, we still don't have a kicker.
That's true. But regardless, and I think that they did a bad job of containing Kyler Murray.
They did.
They let James Conner bust open some runs that
Yep.
could have shut Arizona down.
Yep.
And in the end, they beat themselves. But you know what?
Yep.
Redemption is in the air because we play Seattle, and Seattle has just lost to the New York Giants with
Yes.
Daniel Jones.
Yes.
Made him look like Eli Manning
Yes.
of the glory days.
Yes.
All right. And Seattle they haven't looked good their last 2 games. Whether they were
They got beat at
overlooking
home.
the Giants, whether they were overlooking the Giants because it's a San Francisco game on Thursday, that doesn't matter. Because they let Daniel Jones, without Malik Neighbors,
That's embarrassing.
without Devin Singletary. Okay? So I don't feel bad because now we can go into Seattle and make up for this. We'll get a kicker between now and Thursday
Yep.
Is this game going to be in Seattle or San Francisco?
in Seattle.
Seattle.
Okay.
It's in Seattle.
Why does it matter? The Giants just won in Seattle.
Right. You know what, Daniel? I mean, guys. I mean, I know you're giving props to or you're slamming the Seattle for letting Daniel Jones win, but Daniel Jones looked.
Oh no,
good.
don't. Hey, you know what?
DJ looked really good today, guys. I mean, he was.
Don't get it
23
twisted.
of 34 for 257, 2 touchdowns. He got sacked 3 times. But DJ had a good game.
Don't get it twisted. I was happy the Giants beat the Seahawks.
Oh, I'm sure you were, Elliot. I'm sure you were.
Especially after we lost to Arizona.
Yes.
Because now we can go into Seattle and win. We'll both be 3-3, but we'll have the tiebreaker. Because you know that by the end of the season, Arizona's not going to be relevant. The Rams are already not relevant.
Especially after that performance today against Green Bay.
They don't have anybody. All they got is Kyron Williams.
Yep.
Who else do they got? Tutu Atwell?
Well, Tyler Lockett, Kenneth Walker, DK Metcalf.
That's Seattle, dude. I'm talking about
Arizona.
the Rams.
Okay, I got you. Or the Rams. Okay.
Okay. Arizona doesn't have a bad team, but I just don't think they have what it takes to make it all through an entire season the way they're playing.
Right.
I mean, you saw they got exposed by Detroit and Washington.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not like Arizona is unbeatable. They cashed in on a few breaks today.
Yep.
Right.
Is what they did.
Yep.
And any good team will do that. You can't make mistakes against good teams. But
Yeah, that fumble by Mason didn't help at all going in for a touchdown.
No.
Did not help at all.
Not at all. You know? And I'm not, you know what? I'm not down on it because, like I said, Seattle, in the end, I think the 49ers are going to outlast every other team in the NFC West.
Ken wants to know. He's watching on chat. Elliot, are we looking at a Bronx versus Queens World Series?
You know, I was feeling really good about it until the Mets gave up that game today. You know, but they're going back to New York now. They could probably take 2 from Philly and New York. So watch out for the Mets. I mean, what is it about the Mets in the 8th and 9th inning?
I don't know.
Since the Atlanta doubleheader.
I don't know. But the Mets are playing great. They really are.
Exactly. And you know what teams win championships? The ones that are hottest going into the playoffs.
Yeah, well, tell that to the Detroit Tigers. They got smoked yesterday by the Guardians. But
again, to me, the Tigers look like a team that over-celebrated beating Houston, and Cleveland looked like a team that had a week of rest.
I mean, the Guardians have the best bullpen in the major league right now. So we'll see how that goes.
We'll see.
Brett asks me if it's as true. Chad Okocinco and James Harrison are set to fight in an exhibition MMA bout. Brett, I have no fucking idea. I don't follow MMA.
I don't follow that shit either. And to me,
I could care less.
To me, that's like Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul.
Correct. Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Tim Lynch says the Braves look good too. Wayne, what do you think?
Braves look good.
I say he's just trying to get under my skin, but not gonna happen.
Yeah. What time did the Braves play on Tuesday?
They got an inter squad game on Tuesday. We got an inter squad game on Tuesday.
That's great. Your brother is trolling you, Wayne.
Yeah, I know. It's not like he hadn't been doing it all my life. So
well, you notice, Elliot, on Thursday. Did we have a show on Thursday? Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Wayne was wearing the Braves paraphernalia on Thursday. Today, he's wearing Marvin the Martian.
No, no,
tells
no,
you
no.
how
I
he
was
feels.
wearing Carolina stuff on Thursday.
Yeah, he moved to the Carolina
Oh,
stuff.
that's right. That's right. He moved to North Carolina on Thursday. I apologize.
Remember, I told you he decided to relocate up north.
And today he's got Marvin the Martian on his head. So, you know.
That's right.
Go
and
Marv.
notice, and notice his pose. That's the what the hell happened in the 49ers game pose.
Yes. Yeah. And I've got Chief Wahoo on my hat. So I'm you know, I'm.
And if you see, I got New York, New York.
Yeah,
Yankees.
yeah. Well, you know
Yankees.
what?
Hey, Yankees.
I still got my shirt on though.
Well, that's actually, you know what? That's a Knicks hat,
Yankees.
isn't it?
Yankees, Mets.
That's a Knicks hat. I'm saying,
That's the closest thing I have
Rangers.
to represent the Yankees and Mets colors.
It's either the Knicks or the Rangers because that's nowhere
It's the
near
Knicks,
the Yankees.
dude. The Rangers are red, white, and blue, man. Come on.
So's your hat.
Islanders are orange.
Your hat with the flip out going, you know, your under your hat
It's
is the red,
Knicks.
and the blue and the white is the Knicks.
That's orange.
Yeah, but you know what? These are the Mets colors too.
Oh God, you're a Yankees fan. Who gives a shit about the Mets?
You know what? If the Yankees don't go, then as a New Yorker, I'll support the Mets.
Dude, you know the Yankees are going to beat the Royals. You just know it.
I'm not
So why are you even
concerned about
pretending
that,
about
dude.
being a fan of the Mets?
I am not concerned about that one bit. But if you're going to ask me if I'm not going to root for the Mets because they're playing the
As long as it's a New York
ass
team,
white
you can-
Philadelphia Phillies, because I'm
Dude.
sure Wayne could probably back me on this one.
I don't want either one of them to win, to be honest with you.
But if you had your druthers,
San Diego. I'm praying that San Diego beats the Dodgers. And
That ain't happening.
Well, I'll
and-
tell you
and
what.
goes to the
Last
World
night,
Series.
the Dodgers put a whooping on the Padres. So
they didn't
Yeah,
put a whooping on
7-5.
them. It was 7-5.
I can't say put a whooping on them.
I know. Whooping is what happened to the Cleveland Browns today.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
very much,
whooping.
Elliot. You know what?
yeah, just
Elliot,
like the Yankees got by the Royals yesterday. What was it?
6-5.
6-5.
That's
6-5.
right.
Yeah. So they
Aaron
won.
Judge-
They didn't put a whooping on
Aaron
them.
Judge 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. And we still won.
Yep.
Okay? Because of Alex Verdugo, former Red Sox, by the way, if Ken's listening.
Go Guardians. just go Guardians. That's all I got to say. All right, and finally, guys, we've got tonight. And
By the way,
that'd be Dallas and
let me give
Pittsburgh.
you a little preview. If the Guardians happen to make it to the World Series, they'll lose.
Well, yeah, because they always
Because that's
lose.
what they always do.
They always lose. I mean, shit, they lost to the Braves, which is the Braves' only World Series in the 90s, which they were so dominant. And then they lose to the friggin' Marlins. Give me a goddamn break.
Mhm.
Well, don't
I know.
forget,
It's
don't
gonna
forget-
haunt me for the rest of my life if the Indians, Guardians gave up all.
Don't forget the Braves didn't actually capitalize on all those World Series appearances either.
No, but you know what? I still remember
but
in
they got one.
1990. Listen,
But they got
still-
one.
I still remember in 1992, the National League Championship Series, Sid Bream coming from second base to home, as much as he was hobbled because he was an old man, and still score and beat the Pirates. I remember that.
And you know why? That's because Barry Bonds weighed $150 at the time and didn't have enough force to get that throw to home.
Yeah, throw a 13 hopper to the plate.
If he would have been built like he was in his latter years, Bream wouldn't have made it home.
A 14 hopper, Wayne, really? Seriously?
A 14 hopper to the plate.
Yeah. He killed a couple of gophers on the way.
What about tonight's game, guys? Pittsburgh and Dallas.
Pittsburgh.
Steel City, baby.
Pittsburgh.
Steel City.
You know what? I gotta agree with you. I mean, the defense is no joke, and you know what? It would make me so very happy to see Dallas just get their ass kicked tonight. As much as I hate the Steelers, I hate the Cowboys more because of their owner, because Dak Prescott's a punk, because he's not as good as he thinks he is, and I just hope so. Go Steelers. God, I can't believe I said that. Oh, that hurts. That really freaking hurts.
I see the anguish on your face saying it.
Oh!
And the Dallas Cowboys are hanging their hat tonight on the fact that Terrell Diggs is going to be, or Trayvon Diggs is going to be back.
Ugh.
Like that matters.
You know, I mean, you know what? It doesn't surprise me. I mean, my preseason prediction was that the Steelers would finish last. Now, it's going to be between the Steelers and the Ravens. Those are the two teams that are going to fight for the division. The Browns or the Bengals have no chance, especially after today. So,
I think those are.
Well, I still give Cincinnati a chance because they're notorious for going.
Well, they did play very well today, Wayne. They did play well against the Ravens today. They
you know when I stopped giving Cincinnati a chance
down the stretch, but they had a good game against them.
You know when I didn't give Cincinnati a chance anymore?
Why?
When they lost to New England at home on opening day.
Well, yeah, that might do it too.
That was a sign of things to come.
Who's going to be the cellar dweller of the teams in Ohio, Cincinnati or Cleveland?
Well, you know, if it wasn't for Carolina, Cincinnati would be 0-5 right now.
Cleveland.
Okay.
To answer your question, it's going to be the Browns. They are, as far as I'm concerned, the worst football team in the NFL. They're the worst team in the league right now.
Okay, so if that's the
they're
case,
not the worst. They're not the worst.
If that's the case, then they'll get the number one pick and draft another worthless quarterback.
No, they won't draft. They'll
Well, at least this draft coming up, they get their first round pick back, so I'm happy with that. But still,
they'll pony up another $200 and some odd million to get another quarterback.
Shut the fuck up. Kiss my ass, Wayne. Just kiss my ass. Oh.
Oh, too much.
Hang on, I want to see something.
Well, the Dodgers had the bases loaded. It was only managed to get one run in the bottom of the second.
The number one prospect for quarterback is, God help me, Shadur Sanders.
That's what Dallas is hoping for.
According to NFL Draft Buzz, Shadur Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, is the number one quarterback prospect in the NFL.
But can he do it without his daddy? That's the question.
Quinn Ewers, who I prefer over Shadur Sanders, is ranked number 6.
But the Heisman.
And then Cam Ward from Miami.
Yeah, but you know what? With all that, Cam Ward, I think, is going to be one of the ones that's considered top flight pick.
Cam Ward is going to win the Heisman Trophy. Mark my words.
Oh, I wouldn't count out Travis Hunter, yo.
I wouldn't either. No, I wouldn't either. But right now, Cam Ward, the way he played,
two-way player, Travis Hunter. You don't see that's a unicorn.
Travis Hunter is the number one overall prospect in next year's draft. He is the number one prospect.
Who?
Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
He is the number one overall prospect.
But he ain't gonna play two-way. They ain't gonna allow him to play two-way in the NFL.
No, he'll be defense.
No, he'll be a wide receiver. He won't be a quarterback in the NFL. He'll be a wide receiver.
Really? Because I heard they're gonna put him on defense.
Well, what does he do better?
Yep. I heard he was gonna be
And what does your team need more?
Yep.
A wide receiver or a defensive back? See, he's interchangeable. He could be interchangeable too.
We'll see. Anyway.
But regardless, I don't know if Shadur's game can translate into the NFL unless his father becomes the coach of the team that drafts him.
In my opinion, Shadur Sanders' popularity has everything to do with politics and nothing to do with his ability.
It has everything to do with Deion Sanders. His father.
Yes, it's all about his dad propping him up. You know what? And I do believe that NFL teams will see through the smoke, and he won't go in the first round.
And by the way, for all the claims that LeBron and his wife are making that Bronny's going to be the greatest player in the NBA, just like his father, first preseason game, 2 points. 2 points.
Yes, Brett, I'm happy Bama lost.
There was 6 from the field. He had 3 block shots.
Yeah.
But
No, he's gonna have to make it on defense, plain and simple.
he's saying he didn't get drafted because of his father's name.
He will.
He's full of shit.
Yeah, he will.
I'm saying he said he didn't get drafted because of his father's name. He's totally got drafted because he's LeBron James' son.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
So that whole family is on hallucinogenics right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Wayne. Brett Murphy once again asked me, am I happy Bama lost? I think we're all happy that Alabama lost.
Oh, without a doubt.
That was
Especially,
crazy, dude.
especially against Vanderbilt, which nobody, I mean, and you know what? There was a quote by Nick Saban a few weeks ago saying, there's no SEC, the most favorable SEC place to play is in Vanderbilt. And yet Vanderbilt beat Bama the first time they've ever beat a number one AP number one in history. So
Well, they were 0-60 against top 10 or top 5?
I think top 5.
Top 5, yeah, they were 0-60 until Saturday.
And let's not forget that Tennessee, the number 4 ranked team, lost as well.
Yes. Michigan lost. They were a top 10 team.
Yeah, but Michigan lost damn near everybody from last year.
Yeah, Michigan is not Michigan from last year.
No wonder Ken's knee got broken.
Yeah.
he kicked something after Michigan lost, yo.
Sorry about that, Ken. Michigan now has 2 losses on the season, so we'll see how that goes.
USC went down.
Yes, they did.
USC got shut out.
Yes.
They got put down. They didn't go down. They got put down.
Yep.
Minnesota got them.
Anybody watching the American Music Awards tonight?
No.
No. All right, let's get the hell out of here.
Oh, before we go, shout out to the Liberty. The Aces won't be three-peating this year.
Nope. New York Liberty, Elliot. How about that?
We are New York, baby. We are New York.
Yes.
It's going to be us against Minnesota.
Yes.
And but we didn't discuss tomorrow night's game since we're not going to be here till Thursday.
Monday night, what is that? KC and
New Orleans at Kansas City.
Yep.
The Chiefs are going to win that game. It's in Kansas City. I mean,
New Orleans defense ain't no.
You know what, guys? KC is vulnerable. They're a 4-0 team, but they are vulnerable. They're not playing up to their stuff.
KC should be 0-4 if it wasn't for the referees.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And if Brett Murphy's here, suck on that one.
Yeah, Brett.
At best, they should be 1-3.
Brett, Ohio State is not going down against Oregon. They're going to roll Oregon. I'm just going to say that right now.
I'm sure Alabama, Vanderbilt, and whoever beat Tennessee. So,
Yeah.
That was Arkansas, by the way, who beat Tennessee.
there you go.
Yes. Arkansas. All right, gentlemen. Let's get the hell out of here. I want to thank my co-host tonight, Mr. Elliot Biggie Lamba, as well as Wayne, the Professor Lynch. We will return. We will be off on Tuesday because I've got a hurricane headed my way. So we will not be here on Tuesday night. Maybe on Thursday, provided I have power. So that is to be determined. At the latest, you'll be able to see us again next Sunday at 7:30 to recap Week 6 in the NFL. On that note, Elliot, please play the outro so we can get the hell out of here.
Thank you once again, Nerd Nation, for spending part, if not all of your evening with us here for this latest episode of the Sports Nerd Show. Please keep in mind that we do this on a regular basis every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday night. And since each night's start time is different, please check out our S&M group page on Facebook for the correct times. So until the next time we come together, Nerd Nation, on behalf of the Sports Nerd and his co-hosts, Ken Coslow, John Olson, Wayne Lynch, and me, Big E, May your lives be filled with all the best sports action anyone human can handle, as well as all the joy it could possibly bring you. And with all that said, good night, Nerd Nation, as the time has come to say, we are out.
As a side note, prayers up to the communities in Western North Carolina.
Why are you talking during the explosion, dude?
Because
Nobody
I
can hear
haven't
you.
ended the stream yet. Prayers up to the Western North Carolina communities.
Shit, prayers up to you people in Florida, dude.
Yeah,
no
it just
doubt.
so happens that I was in Asheville back in May. Beautiful town, beautiful atmosphere, and my thoughts are with them. On that note, we're out. See you guys on.
Be safe, Scott, and
Thank you.
everybody who might be on this or who lives in Florida.
Yes.
God bless you all, and
Thank you.
hope you make it through.